Have you ever just stared at an app on your phone and thought, how did this go from just an idea to this thing I use every single day? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down right now. We're going to follow that entire journey from the first spark of an idea all the way to a real working product. Let's dive in. No, really, think about it. The apps you can't live without, the one that gets you food delivered, or the tool that keeps your work life from falling apart, or hey, even that game you just can't stop playing. Every single one of them started as just a concept. So how do you make that jump from an idea in your head to a real thing on a screen? That's the big mystery we're going to solve.
You know, at its heart, software development is so much more than just typing code. It's really a structured, creative way to solve problems. It's all about taking a business challenge or just a brilliant idea and systematically building a digital tool that actually works. It's about turning what if into here it is.
All right, so every great project, doesn't matter if it's a building or an app, it all starts with a rock-solid plan. So phase one is all about creating that blueprint. This is where we make absolutely sure the whole project is built on a strong foundation, setting it up for success from the very beginning. Okay, so this is where we ask the really big questions. First up, requirement analysis. It's basically asking, what are we actually building here, and what problem is it going to solve for people? Next is the feasibility study, which is the big reality check. Can we really do this? Do we have the tech, the money, the team? And finally, planning and strategy. This is the, okay, how are we going to pull this off part, where the timeline and the whole roadmap get mapped out. And here's the crazy part. Not one line of code has been written yet, but this is, without a doubt, one of the most important stages of all. So, with our blueprint in hand, it's time to move on to phase two, the creation. Now this is the really fun part, where all those abstract plans start to become something you can actually see and touch and interact with. This is where the vision starts to come to life. First is UI/UX design. That's user interface and user experience. This is all about making sure the app not only looks great, but is super easy and intuitive to use. From there, we build prototypes. You can think of them like interactive sketches to test out ideas and get some early feedback. And only then does the real coding begin, where the engineers write clean, efficient code to make the whole thing work.
Okay, so the software is built. We're done, right? Ha! Not even close. Welcome to Phase 3, the Launchpad. This is that final, absolutely critical stage that makes sure what we've built is high quality, bug-free, and totally ready for the real world. Not just on day one, but for the long haul.
Look, a product is only as good as it is reliable. That's why QA and testing is a total non-negotiable. It's like a massive bug hunt to find and fix every little flaw. Once it passes all those tests, it's time for deployment. That's the big moment when it finally goes live. But the job still isn't done. Ongoing maintenance is what keeps the software secure, up-to-date, and running like a dream for its users, long after that launch day.
Okay, so that was a pretty detailed process, right? A lot of steps. And you might be sitting there thinking, why all this structure? Can't you just start coding? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Following this process unlocks some amazing advantages. Let's take a look at what they are. First and foremost, efficiency. A process like this takes what could be a really messy, tangled workflow and turns it into a clean, streamlined system. It's all about automating those repetitive tasks, which saves a ton of time and money. It's basically turning chaos into clarity.
And hey, this isn't just a theory. Take a look at this from Daniel Comps. His team built a whole delivery solution in about 5 months, while fixing every single technical issue that popped up along the way. I mean, that's a perfect real-world example of this process delivering big on efficiency and reliability.
The second massive advantage is scalability. You know, that generic, off-the-shelf software, it often just hits a wall when your business starts to grow. But custom software, it's literally designed to grow right along with you, from a tiny little idea all the way up to a huge company. It's built to handle more users, more data, and more complexity as you get more successful. And this idea of scalability, it's just so crucial for growth. Like Jason from Park points out here, their solution was not just stable enough for the market, but it was also impressive enough to put in front of investors. And that's the key, right? A professional, scalable product isn't just a tool. It's a real asset that helps bring in investment and fuels your expansion. And the benefits just keep on coming. You get software that's perfectly tailored to exactly what you need. Security isn't some add-on. It's baked in from the very beginning. It gives you the data you need to make smarter decisions. And it plays nicely with all the other tools you're already using. It's the whole package. So, we've talked about the how and the why. Now, let's get into the where. Because this process, it's not just a theory on a slide. It's out there making a real impact in all sorts of industries, turning lines of code into real, tangible business value every single day.
When you've refined a process over 2,500 times, it's not just a plan anymore, it's a proven system. That number right there, that represents an incredible amount of experience, learning, and success, project after project.
And that experience, it's global. This approach has delivered real value for businesses in over 40 countries, which just proves that a solid development process works anywhere and builds trust everywhere.
And just look at the variety here. In healthcare, this process builds telemedicine platforms. For banks, it's creating fraud detection systems. In logistics, it's optimizing shipping routes. See how the same core ideas, plan, create, launch, are flexible enough to solve totally different problems? That adaptability is where the real power is.
So there you have it. We've walked the entire path, from a simple idea to a powerful tool that makes a real-world difference. We've seen how a structured process can unlock efficiency, scalability, and have a global impact. And every single one of those 2,500-plus projects started in the exact same way, with one person's idea. So the only real question left is, what will you build?